Matt here again, and today I'm going to show you how to install a conversion kit for a Honda EU2000i inverter. And this conversion kit is going to allow us to power the inverter with traditional fuel, propane, and natural gas. Now, for my purposes, my main interest is to be able to power this inverter by propane. And this is because I'm an avid RVer and I'm often out boondocking. And it would be really convenient if I could use the propane tanks that are already on my RV to be powering this inverter instead of carrying fuel around. The other benefit is that a propane tank will last a lot longer. So if I want to run my air conditioning all night long, I'll be able to do that on the propane tank, something that I can't do with traditional fuel unless I'm waking up in the middle of the night and refilling that fuel tank. So in this video, I'll show you all of the step-by-step instructions on how to install this kit that I've purchased from Greenery, and I will leave that link below in the comments so that you can go and buy one of your own. And I'm also going to give you an idea of what tools that you need to have ready in order to do this. So let's get started.
Alright, so before we get started with the installation, let me show you what comes in the box from Greenery when you order this. So it does come with an installation manual, and on the front you're going to see a tool list. And you can see all the tools that you're going to require in order to do this installation. It is a fairly long tool list, but it's all pretty much stuff that if you're fairly handy, you'll probably have this in your garage already. And the instructions are nice because they are fairly detailed and they do come along with pictures, so that always helps as well, but hopefully this video is also going to help you today. It also comes with some first-time startup instructions, so that can be really helpful when you're ready to test, and we will do some testing today at the end of this video. And then we can see some other parts. We've got some hardware, we've got some vent covers, some stickers to add to the generator, and also really the most important components here. And you can also see over here that I've actually laid out some of the tools that I'm going to be using in today's installation. Just figured I'd get those all ready to go to make my job a little bit easier.
One thing that I will mention before we get started as well is that you really want to make sure that you've ordered the parts for the right Honda inverter. All right, so this one particular that we're looking at today is the EU2000i. Now, Honda also makes a 2200, for example, so you just want to make sure that you've ordered the right kit for your specific inverter. So the first thing that we're going to do is remove this front cover. There's one screw up at the top here that we need to unscrew. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is installing this kill switch right here, and it's going to go up on top here. We'll figure that out shortly. But this switch is needed to keep the ignition system turned on when we're running on these alternative fuels, whether it's propane or natural gas. So the nice thing, like I mentioned earlier, they give very detailed instructions with lots of pictures. So they actually show you exactly where to line up the kill switch sticker. So you start by putting that on first, and then you mark the center of that circle, and that's where we're going to drill into. So next we're going to start by placing this sticker, and it shows to stick it in a spot where the inside of this circle, it lines up with this edge here, and about 1/8 of an inch from the edge of this right here. And again, that's just to make sure that we don't end up drilling into something important here. So you can see underneath, we do have a bit of space, but you certainly wouldn't want to drill into the wrong thing. So we're following those instructions. So there we go, lined up with the outside edge, just a little ways from this edge. So now we are ready to mark the center of this hole, and then we are going to drill into it. So important that we put a rag inside of here to catch any of the filings that come off when we're drilling through. We don't want to get those filings anywhere inside this inverter compartment. I'm going to just stick that there in a way that it protects everything inside, just like that. And now we're able to use our graduated bit, and we're going to make a 5" or 5/8 inch hole in there.
So there is the connection there, and you've got to push in this tab, and once you've done so, it will disconnect fairly easily, just like that. And we're going to be able to take the new connector that comes with the kit, and we are going to connect it to this side here. Just like that. Hear it click into place, and that is now going to be run up to our kill switch. So our wire is connected. We're going to connect the kill switch on the end of these two wires, and then we will install it in place. Okay, so I'm going to take the two wire ends and screw them into the two terminals at the end. You got to make sure those are good and tight. Alright, insert that kill switch into the hole, and we are going to take the lock nut, which we put on before we ran the wire through the hole, and we can screw that on. You're going to need small hands for this. So the next thing that we're going to do is mark the hole. We're not going to drill the hole yet, but we're going to mark it, and this is where the propane fitting is going to go. But they do say to wait to actually drill the hole till the end, but I guess we're marking it now because we're going to use the lines on this cover to mark it, and we're going to use this washer. So there's very specific instructions in the manual on exactly where to place that washer, and then we're going to mark the center of the washer just like that, and that will be the center of the hole that we're going to later drill. So we have lined up the tape with the two ribs on the cover, and now we're able to place our washer in place. Alright, so we've got that hole marked, so we can put the washer aside for now. We can take the tape off, and we'll need that marking later on. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is remove the airbox assembly. It's this guy here. So we're going to start by unscrewing this big screw that you see at the front. And gently remove this filter on the bottom. And next we're going to need to remove this guy here. And we've also got to remove these two 8mm bolts from the carburetor cover. There we go, and having a look at the gasket there, it looks like it's still in good shape. So it looks like we'll be able to reuse that again. So just pull the car back and just set it aside. No need to disconnect any of the hoses. And now we're going to inspect this gasket back here, make sure that there's no damage. If it's looking good, we can reuse it. All right, so gasket is in good shape, so we're going to be reusing that again. And now we've got to take out two more 8mm bolts, and that's going to allow us to replace these two long bolts here with longer bolts. Alright, so there's another gasket on the inside here that we also need to inspect to make sure that it's in good shape. If it's not in good shape, we would be replacing it, but in this case there's no damage, so we're going to reuse that again. So we're replacing the bolts with the two longer bolts. Alright, so new bolts are in. We're going to start to reassemble this component. And Greenery does recommend that you replace the bolts that came from Honda with some different bolts with just a dab of super glue on the end, because apparently the ones from Honda are known for coming loose with vibration over time. Alright, so we can now place the carb back on the new longer bolts with the gasket first, making sure that we have the correct orientation. So we're now ready to drill our hole on the top, and we're once again going to cover the interior to make sure we don't get any shavings on the inside, and then we're going to drill a 9/16 hole. So we've unclipped the top fuel line, and we are going to thread the new propane tube up behind these two fuel lines here. And they do give you some covers for the fuel line to make sure that the vibration in the unit doesn't end up cracking the fuel line. So we're going to place those two plastic pieces over these two fuel lines here. Alright, so we've got our little plastic protectors over the fuel line so that they don't wear away with vibration over time when they're rubbing against this new tube. And we're going to tie wrap that upper fuel line to the clip so it's not moving around too much. Okay, so next we're going to screw on this elbow fitting onto the top here, but don't forget the washer first, like so. Alright, so now we're going to install another plastic sleeve, this time on our propane tube, and again just to avoid chafing with lots of vibration. So next we're going to tighten the quick disconnect using a socket wrench. Alright, so now we're going to connect the hose to the carb. You got to make sure that there's a gasket on the inside where we're using that gasket, and there's also going to be a gasket on the outside. We're going to be using one of the new gaskets that was provided. Alright, so we're going to slide the air box back on now. And there is a spacer that comes with this. So they do give you another bolt to go in here, but there is a spacer that needs to be fit behind it. You've just got to be very careful about getting that in the right spot. It's looking good so far. Now we could reinstall the airbox cover, screw that back in. All right, so there's a final look at this compartment before we move on to the next step. All right, so first thing we're going to do is remove the spark plug cover, and we are going to add a vent to the top of that. So we've marked the position in the center here and right near the top of this line, as per the instructions. And now we are going to drill a hole in that big enough to fit the vent cover. So now we're going to use our 2 1/8 inch hole saw to create the hole that we need in the cover. And then we'll use that sharp razor blade just to smoothen out the edges here. Right, we can go ahead and pop that in, and then they do recommend using some hot glue on the inside here, so we're going to do that. So we're also going to add 2 vents to the main cover, and you can see in the instructions here it gives you hole locations, so we'll mark those. So after marking the 2 spots, we've just cut these tabs back so that we have space for a pilot hole there. Now we're putting some glue on to make sure that the vent holes are securely in place.
So we are just about done. We're going to put the covers back on with the newly installed vents. And once you're done, don't forget to put your new sticker on, very important. All right, it's time to test this baby out. We are going to connect the propane tank to the generator. You're going to follow all of the instructions here on all of the settings necessary for the generator, and we'll see if we can fire it up. And just like that, we are running the generator off propane. Well, there you have it. We now have a Honda inverter that works off propane. Really looking forward to taking this out RVing. And if you stay tuned for the next video, I'm going to do some load testing with this. So we're going to try it on the RV air conditioner and a few other conditions. So hope you come back again and stay tuned for that next video. If you do have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, please leave a comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you. And don't forget, if you do want to buy one of these conversion kits, I'm going to leave a link in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It really does help us out. And don't forget to come back tomorrow to see where we go next.